Christian Zionism, or as it's also called, dispensationalism, believes that the Jewish people from throughout the world must all return to the Holy Land, and the state of Israel must conquer all of the land between the Nile River in Egypt and the Euphrates River in Iraq. They must blow up the mosques on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. And for 3.5 years, after they have rebuilt their temple and reestablished the Levitical practices of animal sacrifice, for 3.5 years they will worship the Antichrist. Jesus Christ will return and lead an army of hundreds of thousands and kill off all of the Jews with the exception of 144,000 who will promptly convert to Christianity. A second element is the belief in the imminence of tribulation, part of an end-time scenario in which the human race itself will be destroyed in a holocaust, inevitably involving nuclear war. The third element in Christian Zionism is the notion of the rapture, the idea that before tribulation is in full swing, Jesus will return, not for the final time, but for a second time. He returns 3 times, according to the doctrine of the rapture. And he will lift from the earth all of the born-again true Christians, the living and the dead who are born again will be whisked up to heaven, where they can watch the destruction of the earth from bleachers in the sky. Now, wouldn't one expect that the Zionist movement in the United States would be opposed to Christian Zionism, both because of the fate that it dictates for the Jewish people, but also because of its ideology, which traditionally, going back to Darby, has believed and put forward unequivocally that God created Christians and Jews to take different paths through their history. The Jews were to take an earthly path, and the Christians were to take a heavenly path. And Jews were never to be allowed to go to heaven unless they converted to Christianity. Obviously, the Zionist establishment in the United States is perfectly aware of the anti-Semitic content of Christian Zionist ideology. But going back as far as the late 1970s, when the state of Israel reportedly gave Jerry Falwell his personal Lear jet, the Zionist establishment has realized the value of Christian Zionism despite the essential anti-Semitism of its ideology. To Jewish Zionists, the Christian Zionists are useful idiots. For the end-timer Christian Zionists, the Jews are sacrificial lambs.